Hello everyone and welcome to the program Midday Discourse on Global Television. My name is Samuel Odi and it's an amazing Monday morning. We are looking fresh. I know you're probably at work or somewhere having lunch, and as I bring you today's edition of the program, we're going to be spotlighting the challenges and the prospects of agriculture in Nigeria. But before then, I would like to bring you up to speed with a recent development that happened during the weekend. The Renewed Hope Initiative has launched the Every Home a Garden competition aimed at promoting farming and food production at the family level, encouraging Nigerians to cultivate a culture of gardening and healthy eating from comfort of their homes. This was made known by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, on her X account on Saturday. Despite the First Lady of the country coming out to say all of this, then on the other note, the United Nations has a projection that they had fought with Nigerian agricultural produce. The United Nations has again predicted that 82 million Nigerians, about 64% of the country's population, may go hungry by 2030, calling on the government to tackle climate change, pest infection, and other threats to agricultural productivity. The prediction comes in the wake of the persistent hike in food price in the country. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigerian food inflation rate hit a record high of 40.66% in May 2024, surpassing the previous month of 40.53%. This surge represents the largest year-on-year increase of food price since records began in 1996. Historically, food inflation in Nigeria has averaged 13.42%, with the lowest point of minus 70.50% in January 2000. In 2023, the Food and Agricultural Organization predicted that no fewer than 2.6 million Nigerians in Borno, Sokoto, and Zamfara states and the FCT may face food crisis between June and August 2024. According to the government-led credit Harman's analysis released in March 2024, approximately 4.8 million people in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states are experiencing severe food insecurity and high level in 7 years. There are some in-depth questions that we'll be looking at. We have in-depth questions we'll be looking at to propagate and, ask this question so as this prediction from United Nations would not be the fate of Nigeria, looking at the angle that food crisis has been multiplying on a daily basis and hike in prices. So on that note, I'll be going on a very quick break, and then when we come back, I'll be introducing my guests in who we would be extraying and bringing to light what method and policies we need to put in place to be able not to get into this depth of hunger and starvation in the land. To stay with us, we'll be right back.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on global television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point, this is business.
Are you ready to be entertained like never before? Get ready to dive into the latest and greatest entertainment news in lifestyle, music, movies, birthday celebration, and so much more. All on Entertainment Circle on Global Television. From the hottest red carpet event to exclusive interviews with your favorite stars, we've got you covered. Stay up to date with the latest trends and news from the entertainment world, all in one place. Tune in every Saturday by 1 p.m. with Chung and Emil Joseph on Global Television.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first. Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumaine Manson on Global Television Monday to
Many thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining, this is Midday Discourse on Global Television. And like I rightly mentioned, we'll be extracting the spotlight on challenges faced by farming and the prospects in Nigeria. So at this time, I'll be introducing my guest to you, who is an agriculturalist, Daniel Doyin. Mr. Daniel Doyin, thank you for joining us to today's edition of the program. Yeah, so looking at the challenges and despite, the projection that has been made by UN. Well, now the First Lady of Nigeria has, started a campaign that's hashtag green. Everybody should just plant in the homes and then have meals for themselves for healthy living. What's your reaction to that, the First Lady coming out to do this? And again, the projection of UN that 82 million Nigerians will die of starvation or will go very hungry in the year 2030 if nothing is being done.
Okay, so that was an astronomical performance from the First Lady. In fact, that's what our leaders should portray. We should emulate farming from our leaders. They should encourage that, because most people look down on agri and everybody is running into ICT. People are running into several things. People are even going outside the country looking for greener pasture. Meanwhile, we have this agriculture at our disposal that will enhance and change our lives for the better. But because we don't portray the importance of agri and how agri can help the economy and the people, and the people are looking outside. They are looking outside. Meanwhile, we have something that will change us from within. So it's a good performance from the First Lady. I give her credence for that. I give her credence. So, and then the projection from the UN. Like we all know, the recent publication by the Punch newspaper, the UN projected that by 2030, 82 million Nigerians, that's over 64% of our population, will go on hunger, will go hungry by 2030. And that should give us a sense of urgency that we need to go back to agriculture in order to bridle these things coming our way, this plague coming our way by 2030. There has been projection right from time, and the projection has been coming to pass. To 2000, there was projection, and it came to pass. So this hike in food prices is keeps going higher and higher. So we need to look for solution. We need to, like the First Lady is doing, we need leaders that would come out and then advocate about agriculture and then propagate agriculture to the people. Because like now, like the major population of people in farming, they are at the age of 60 to 70. So where are the youth? The youth, they have the energy to work, but they don't focus on agriculture because of the narrative, because of the perception they have towards agriculture. Agriculture is for poor man. Agriculture is for poor people. So they don't really fancy agri. They don't even give it a thought because of the perception they have and the narrative.
Yeah. So looking at that angle now, there are numerous challenges now, and I would just want to know what are the main challenges faced in terms of accessing fertilized land for farming.
Okay, we have a challenge of flood, erosion, and etc. That's natural factor. We also have human factor, which is the insurgency. Most of the farmers are from the north, and because of insurgency, banditry, and the rest, they've chased them out of their locality, and they cannot farm. There is no land for them to farm, and that's why we are having issues like this. That's one human factor: the insurgency, banditry, the kidnapping. Those are factors affecting the people from farming. Because Nigeria, we have fertile land in Nigeria. We all know that our land is fertile.
Yeah.
When you go to other countries, you have to import soil for you to farm. They also apply so many things for you to farm. But even on the street, you can plant anything and it will grow. That shows that the land is fertile. But because of wrong practices, because of our people are inexorable. They don't like change, and we don't create awareness for them that will change their old way of doing things. We cannot be doing the same thing the same way all the time, and we're expecting different results.
Yes.
So that also is affecting the productivity of our farming system in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So the farmers they don't really adapt to change, and then that's where extension services comes in. We need extension officers, extensionists to go and pass knowledge, create workshops, trainings that will create awareness to the farmers that you can do this and have different results. Because I listen to other agriculturists who complain, other farmers who complain when they go to their village to farm and not also to invest into agriculture. They said they have conflicts with the locals over there because they don't want to hear from them. They will tell you before you were born, we've been into this. This is how we've been doing it for the past 30 years. We cannot bring anything new. And we are not getting good yield. In fact, even our harvest, our produce, we can't export it to other countries because it's lacking quality. It's lacking quality.
Okay.
So, but it all starts from the farm practices, fertilizer application, and even the soil, how you treat your soil, and the rest. We have to look into that, and we can't do that without proper training and workshop.
Okay, looking at the angle where you said, in the rural communities, when investors go back to try to educate these farmers who are actually, like you rightly mentioned, are within their 60s and they are used to a normal pattern of doing this. What role do you think youth now can play in terms when these persons have been adamant? Should they come into the system and take over, or just find a way to adapt and then see how they can both work together? That is using the old practice and the new practice to be able to have sustainable food in the country.
Yeah, you see, the youths are carried away by things that bring fast money and then fancy things, flamboyant things. So they don't really look at if you have conversation, if you talk with the youth on the streets, you know it's only a little number of you that even know. In fact, I was talking with a friend. I told her I studied agri. He said, "God forbid." See, a young person study agri for what? He say, "God forbid they give her admission to study agri." She study. I said, "God forbid." So you can see the narrative, you can see the perception people are having towards, the young people are having towards agri. And these are people doing minor things, and they are downgrading and looking down on agri. They don't know the efficacy of agriculture. You don't know. But how can they know when you don't show them proofs? You have to show them proofs. Show them, tell them about people. Okay, we have to have young people like we.
Yeah.
We come into the system, we dominate, and then show them. Because of agri, I buy Lamborghini. That's what the youth wants to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, if I say I have fish ponds, I do fish farm for over 5 years, and this fish farm made me to buy Lamborghini. I'm telling you, like 100 or 200 youths would venture into agriculture because of that statement and that fact.
Yes.
That's what they want to see. So we have to we have to show them these things. We have to show our testimonies. We have to show them all we got from agri, so that it will encourage them. The youth are carried away by what they see. If they don't see proof in what you're doing, they will not venture into what you're trying to encourage them. So it's over and above the creating awareness for the youth, creating programs to educate the youth on farming and the rest. They want to see proof. To youth is seeing is believing. They want to see, because you tell them through agri you made your first 1 billion, you made your first 1 million. That's what they want to hear. So we have to use it in the right way. We have to market agriculture to them. For you to cajole them, for you to impel them to venture into agriculture, you have to lure them. You have to use something to lure them. That's the kind of youth we have.
Okay, looking at this administration now, which is being led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his wife now, who is also advocating for not just women, but she's advocating for every home to start having a garden, maybe at the back of their houses. You know, growing up, I grew up in the north, and we do have all those gardens. I planted cucumbers growing up. That is called guli in Hausa language. So I did that, and then we never had, reasons to even get that from the markets, mostly during rainy season. But now, the effects now during dry season now, we just tend not to do anything because obviously there is no rain. So how do we cope with inadequate regulation systems and water scarcity during dry seasons? Because from statistics have shown that fresh produce are always on the low during dry season. So how do we manage all of that?
Okay, to manage all that, we have to look into irrigation system of farming. So you have to, we always blame the government to do that, to do this, but we can do it in our little way. That same little garden you were talking about, you never thought of creating a dam for that garden, so that all through the year you can have cucumber. You don't need to wait for rainy season. Just create a small dam, water it. There is what we call a watering can. You can do that. You can buy it. You can even create one. Water them. Water. It's as simple as that. So we don't depend on nature. When rain comes late, we complain about rain. When it comes too early, we complain. When there is no rain, we complain. We can make this thing happen in our little way. Create a dam where you water the plants. Create a dam where you irrigate the plant. So you don't need to complain about dry season. When you go to a place like Jigawa State and you go to the far north, you see people creating their own way of farming, even in dry season. They created their own way. They improvise. They use their skill and their knowledge to create something. Even in dry season, you see them farming onions, you see them farming different things, even in dry season. So if everybody will take the responsibility of creating a water channel to water the plants, then we will not be having scarcity. Because what causes major scarcity is the duration of time, the distance between the rainy season and dry season. That's what causes scarcity. If you have if you have a farming system that runs all through the year, we will not be complaining about food scarcity and food shortage.
What role does green light farming play in terms of during dry season in terms of having good produce?
Yeah, you see, like farming, like greenhouse farming, the green light or the greenhouse farming, it's a farming system that runs even without rain. The plants in greenhouse, they are not even aware if anything rain. If they can speak for themselves, they will tell you. They never know anything about rain and all these things. They don't know anything about it because it's a farming system under a controlled environment. Yeah, you have your drip line irrigation system. You have your GP tank. You just on it and go your way. 40 minutes, 50 minutes is done. You come and off it. It's as simple as that because it's a drip line. So the water will be dripping just beside the plant.
And then going straight to the root.
Straight to the root. You don't even need much time to weed because there's no weed. Because the water don't drop everywhere. It drops only where the plant is. That's drip line. Yeah, they will just punch only the plant where the plant is. So there's you don't have problem with rain. You don't have problem with dry season. You run your farming system all through the year.
There are other challenges of finances and financing and all. So for one that is looking to get into green light farming now, and or greenhouse farming, whichever one, what is the basic resources, or how much do you think one would be able to have to be able to see to the establishment of this business?
Okay, the greenhouse is quite expensive. Yeah, I think you should have a minimum of 2 million naira for you to establish a greenhouse, or 1.5 million or thereabouts. But we don't have to wait till we get that. You can plan your life. One of the major challenges I see in farmers is lack of proper planning.
Okay.
Farmers are synonymous to poverty. If you're a farmer, they will just reckon you to a poor person. Why? Because the farmers made it so. Because of lack of proper planning, they are always poor. They are feeding from hand to mouth. How can you be a farmer and be poor?
That's a very big question.
If you're producing what people are eating on a daily basis, why are you poor?
Because there's demand
Lack
for his
of
need
planning.
for it.
Because if someone is selling clothes in a boutique,
He's working around
rich,
naked.
is rich. And how many of us buy clothes from boutique every day? You can even forget when last you buy clothes, but the person selling clothes is rich. Why can't a farmer be rich when you're producing what people eat daily? People eat daily. And every country eats, every nation, every tribe and our race, they eat. So why are farmers poor? Farmers are poor because of lack of proper planning. They just believe you just harvest, and then the mediocre mentality. I was in a village where Christmas period, everybody was selling his produce just to buy Christmas clothes and feel they were buying machine, just this Okada machine busting all around the place. That's a mediocre way of thinking. Why not plan your money, plan your budget, plan these things? People that are buying from you, they are richer than you when you're the one producing. How is that so? How is that so? Because they plan more than you. They buy from you, they store it, and when the market goes up, they sell. But farmers, when they are in a competition with themselves, you see someone wants to get married just to come and spray money.
You can sell all his
You see a farmer will sell 2 bags of rice to come and spray money
without having plans for what to plant in the next
because
season.
of local competitions. Go and sell 2 bags of rice just to compete with somebody in a reception. So our farmers, I think we need to educate our farmers on the need to plan their money. How many of them even know about financial intelligence? How many of them?
That means another factor we are looking at now is the fact that most of these farmers don't have financial awareness on how to manage resources, so which is also a challenge. That's why we are having shortage of food, and then at the other hand we are having farmers who can't even fend properly for themselves. Well, those are other challenges that we are hoping. And what do you think we should be done? What can the government or stakeholders and private sectors do now in terms of bringing awareness on planning system for farmers?
Okay, there's a popular saying that says knowledge is power. There's nothing knowledge cannot do. If we create awareness to these people, educate them, knowledge eradicates illiteracy and then a local way of doing things. So most of them, they are not even aware that this same thing they have in their store can make them millionaires. They are not aware. But if you provide a system in place where you create a workshop, you create a training, train them on how to hold what they harvested, when to sell, how to sell, and then where to sell. If we teach them on that, you raise millionaires that are farmers. So we should teach them on how to manage risks, on how to manage. There's something they call emotion control in forex. You have to manage your emotions. When you hit big money, you'll be stirred up, you'll be roused up to do something. In fact, if somebody just smile at you, you can dash in 10,000 just by smiling. So we should culture them, nurture them, control their emotions. Because most of them, when they hear beans is now 2,800 per mudu, which is the next thing that will come to their mind is to carry all their beans and sell. So, and when they sell, some of them will hit in millions. You see young people hitting 1 million, 2 million as farmers. but they are still poor. And someone is having 50,000 naira is looking richer than you. No wonder they say poverty is a state of the mind.
Yeah. Okay, that is just so much that we can, elaborate on this. But now, my second guest is in the studio, and we'll be going on a very quick break. So we have a swap. So when we come back, Midday Discourse continues as we dive in and extract more of the aspect of credit facility, loans, and grant for farm exploitation and equipment upgrade. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumain Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and a repeat every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out.
Are you a food lover? Do you care about your health and nutrition? Are you interested in exploring the diverse culinary traditions from around the world? Then look no further. Introducing Lunch Global on Global Television, a show that takes you on a delicious journey through the world of food, nutrition, and diet. So, whether you're a seasoned foodie, a health enthusiast, or simply curious about the world of food, Lunch Global has something for everyone. Tune in Mondays to Fridays and let your taste bud take you on a journey of flavor, culture, and discovery on Lunch Global. Bon appetit!
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
Get a shot in, squares it, into the back.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on Global Television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momadou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Got that goal, beautiful work from the wingers.
Hello, children. Gather around, let me tell you a story. Do you know that stories have a way of captivating the minds of children, bringing fun and imagination to teach them morals? Join Sharon Ajay as she takes you to explore the thrilling and exciting world of storytelling.
I'll be sharing with you our next interesting story.
Tune in every Saturday on Global Television, time 5:30 p.m.
Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momadou on television's most compelling and fact.
Many thanks for staying with us. And now I have an actual farmer with me in the studio. She is the founder of National Coordinator, Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development in Nigeria, Omolara Stevenson. It's a honor to have you here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are you? How are you doing? How's your day going?
I'm fine.
Okay, so let's get into it, because this is a big kind of challenging, because we're having so much decline and reports coming to us that projected for 2030 that over 82 million Nigerians might be suffering from kind of hunger and starvation. And then Her Excellency Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the First Lady of the Federation, has also encouraged not just women this time, but all households to engage in farming. What's your reaction to that, to the First Lady herself coming out to, plant behind her own backyard?
Well, it's a good move. Okay. I mean, it's something that we have been preaching for a decade or so. So the First Lady coming out to show, to lead by example, it's really a good move. And hopefully this would convince our people, especially the youth, because I was listening to the young man that was here earlier, and I was like, there are a lot of things that I needed to actually put he himself through to understand why we have found ourselves where we are today. So the First Lady having a garden in the State House is a very positive thing and the right way to go. But if you ask me, I would say this is something that we should have done
sooner than now.
But it's a very good move on the First Lady's end.
Let's look at, there are a lot of challenges that farmers, mostly local farmers in the urban area and, in the cities as well, have been complaining about. There's this area about difficulties and encounters in accessing credit facilities and loans, for grants and farm expansion and, equipment upgrade. All of these things has been in the light. So how do we, move forward from this? Because we are really, suffering so much because of the high rates of food in scarcity in Nigeria.
All right. So first of all, our problem, this question you're asking me, is you taking it from the top and not from the bottom.
Okay.
In order for us to get to not have 2035, you said, or what was the statistics?
2030?
No, that's even far. That's far off. A tuber of yam today is about 3,500. I remember being on a TV program earlier this year and saying that if the federal government do not do something between January and March, April for the South, for farmers in the South, that may have to buy one corn for 600 naira, and it is happening now in the space of 4 months. So, well, God help us with the 5 years projection you've done. Now, how can we solve this problem you've asked? Anyone will come here and say, oh, accessibility to single-digit loan. Yes, they are all part of the solutions for it.
Yes.
But let's not start from the top. Let us take it from the bottom. And the bottom is simple. Nigeria as a nation, we have neglected agriculture for too long. Let me take us back to the days of Baba Awolowo. Oyo State built cocoa house from revenue we generated from sales of cocoa. If we had continued with the same passion, and we have built Peanut Medical Center, Cashew University, we would not be where we are today.
At this point.
One of the major blessing and problem in disguise in one that we have in Nigeria is the discovery of crude oil, because then everyone neglected agriculture and they either want a white collar job or they want to do oil and gas. I remember very well years ago, about 18 years ago, when I walked into most of our banks, there was nothing like agric desk. And when I bring proposals to bank managers, then they would just be polite to me and say, and throw my proposal under the table. Nobody was interested in doing agriculture. And because of that gap for more than two, 3 decades. So that is the first problem that we have. that has to be solved. And how do we solve that? The earlier speaker was saying that you have to show the youths that this is a Lamborghini I bought from Agric. It's because you people are not hungry yet. Because you need to eat first before you can even drive a Lamborghini if you have it. The first step is to actually, do I look poor?
You
I don't look poor, but what I do, I tell everyone, whatever you see on me is Agric money. What we need, first thing to do, is for the government to work hand in hand with the real farmers and the NOA, National Orientation Agency. Because if our youth understand that, I can put 100,000 into fish farming, and in 3 months, I can make 250,000. No matter how greedy or how you want to hit, you are. You would rather go for that than to put your life at stake and say you want to do yahoo. I mean, for a reasonable youth now, you know, an average reasonable youth. But the orientation is not even there. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the understanding. You know, I was happy that the young man was able to break it down that in agriculture potential is there. If all our youths have the understanding that he has, that in agriculture there is potential, then the orientation starts changing. When I was growing up, the orientation agency has a lot of TV adverts when they want the general public to behave in a certain way. Why aren't they doing that now to bring the youth back, to make up for the time that we have neglected agriculture? Because until that is done, that is when you can start getting the youth involved. And we actually really need the youth. Like we are flagging off our youth wing, I think on the 25th or something. We need to get the youth involved. That is another solution to, I'm coming to your credit question that you asked about. In the same light, we have 4 categories of farmers. So we have the political farmers, we have the portfolio farmers, we have the elite farmers, and we have the grassroots farmers. Now, who are the people producing the food that you eat? It is the grassroots farmers. Who are the people exporting the little quantity that we are exporting, or the sort of gari you see in ShopRite, you know, the sort of tomato you meet in ShopRite, the elite farmers, you know. So why are they having issue of accessing funds? I want you to follow me carefully. They're having issues of accessing affordable funds, access to affordable funds, because it's one thing for you to have access to funds, it's another thing for the fund to be accessible. Because of political and portfolio farmers. It's not rocket science, and that's why I keep saying it whenever I'm on TV, that for us to have a solution, the low-hanging fruit, the low-hanging fruit in all of this, is for the government to stop the unholy romance they have with political and portfolio farmers and work hand in hand with the grassroots and elite farmers. And that's why when we got talking with the Ministry of Agric and with the Ministry of Agric and other agencies, like agencies, you know, we said to them, we said, look.
Okay, let me just cut you before you get deep into the explanation. We'll be going on a very, very quick break, and then when we come back, Midday Discuss continues. Please do stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us, and you can see we're having fun having this conversation about, you know, the angles and what needs to be done for everybody, youth and household, to get involved. So ma'am, before we went on that quick break, you were about to, you know, make mention about the ministries.
Yes, so this is why when we're talking about the access to funds and all of that, so when if the government and the people and the youths, like of the young man that was here, myself, it's a collective effort. When we start having the right orientation to how important agriculture is, So the existence and sustenance of human race is agriculture. There is no doubt about that. So if we have the understanding, if the youth has the understanding that, look, in order for us to keep existing, we have to take care of agriculture.
Yes.
The job we need to do will be 50% reduced. So now, coming back to why the grassroots farmers and elite farmers who are actually producing the food that you eat, whatever class you are in the society, if you're the type that goes to Mile 12 or Duse Market or Day Markets or Karu Markets or Nyanya Markets, you're looking at the grassroots farmers. If you're the type that's, you're a gas wife, you only shop at supermarkets and the big malls, you're looking at the elite farmers,
yes.
right? Whichever one of this category you fall into, these people need access to affordable funds. I mean, you walk into the banks now, they claim that they have agric desk. I stopped years ago going for their meetings because I come out of their meeting, I feel like their so-called head of agri should pay me because I feel like I've been schooling them.
Yes.
You get my point.
Yes.
That is one. The other aspect of it is then they tell you that, oh, it's 27% rate. Excuse you, what am I selling? Onions. You know, so in order for these two categories, the real farmers, to strive and to be able to provide affordable food for Nigerians, the government needs to stop their unholy romance with political and portfolio farmers, which is what brings in the Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development Initiative. You know, as a grassroots farmer and elite farmer that I am, I work with farmers at every stage of it, to food processors, to export. So over the years, I have gathered the experience and the first-hand contact with people that are producing the food that we consume. And I see that it's not like government is not releasing funds or empowerment or support. You and I know, you people, the journalists, you come on television, you say, federal government has released 59 billion to agric. I will call my women, and even the men, I say, excuse me, sir, did you see money? It's the same thing. Madam, we are not seeing it.
But what's the
and the reason is because there is a huge gap between the government and us, because there are so many political and portfolio farmers. So that's why we keep saying to the government, when they want to do election or censor, they know how they get to the grassroots people now. It is very simple. As I'm seated here, call any local government in Nigeria that you want a product in that local government. I will call my zonal coordinator. She will call the state coordinator in that state. And she will call the local government coordinator there. The local government coordinator will reach out to my ward coordinator and I will get you your commodity. That is the structure we run. That's why I can come on international television and say to the auditor, I said, please, President Tinubu, work hand in hand with the Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development Initiative. And the more reason why it has to be women and youth is this. I'll tell you that as well, because I get this argument a lot. They say, why are you just talking for women? To start with, as you are here like this, if they give you 1 million naira, there are other factors you will consider before you spend that 1 million.
True.
If you give a woman 1 million, first thing she will think of is her home. First factor. Second factor, which is the most important, is that women constitute to 75 to 80% of the workforce in the agricultural sector. If you come to the north, where you say women don't farm as much as we do in the south, but who processes the farm produce? Who helps and assists on the farm? It is women. If you go to the south, from land preparation to processing and packaging, you have more women than you have the men. And this is why you see that it is high time that the government pays attention to the grassroots and elite women farmers in the country. And another reason why we are where we are today, which I like to put out whenever I'm on TV, is this. Journalists that you have the Nigerian Women Journalists whatnot Association Forum, what have you. You have the lawyers as well. Lawyers have their own, architects has theirs. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria, at almost 70, that Nigeria as a nation is having a national body that is representing every woman in the entire agricultural sector.
Okay, let's look at, there are a lot of challenges, and then, okay, obviously we have lots of women in the agricultural sector, but the issue between the elite farmers now and the political farmers, what can be done now for that bridge now to be gapped so that the resources coming from the government would get to the actual farmers? So this project, this prediction by UN wouldn't come to light, because you were part of those that made a projection, and now we're living the dream of buying just one corn for about 300 and 400 naira, and the tuber of yam in the market. I bought one for 4,500 just last weekend. So what can be done now for this gap now to be covered?
Okay, so I say it all the time. Honorable Minister, both the Minister of State, all the agencies, our President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, work directly with the Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development Initiative. If we do not get results, as I say all the time, some of us don't have plan B. We are here in this nation. That's the solution. If you work directly with Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development Initiative, and you don't get result, I am here. My zonal coordinators are here. My board of BOT members, we are here. We're not going anywhere. I could not imagine that a day is coming that I'll buy one yellow bucket of Oloyin beans, sweet beans, for 20, I beg your pardon, for 15,000 naira. This is what we normally buy for 6,000 to 7,000 naira before. A tuber of yam is for 3,000 naira. I personally empowers my women to grow vegetables, and we see the impact in the local market. So work with us. The reason why this has gone on for so long is that the elite farmers like myself, we have been in our own bubbles, oh, I don't want to be part of association, I don't have time for all those kind of things, and that's why we find ourselves where we are now. But we've come together with NWAPD. We have processors. My women in Lagos, they export ugu on a weekly basis. I can proudly say that. I have women that export soya bean, granite and all of that. So I have women that if they are supported today, just in FCT alone, the impact, let's just pick something like cucumber. By the way, you have to start planting cucumber again. Something like cucumber, ugu and all of that. Yes. And let's say we are giving 4 area councils in Abuja, we're investing 5 million naira in it. In another 8 weeks, you will see the difference. It's not rocket science. And this is the only thing that can be done. If we sit here and we speak English from now till tomorrow, as you people will say, oh, now wash. The way forward is reach out to this. Let us work together. Reach out to these women. And the good thing in all of this is, it's not about doling out money to these people. It's about giving them farm input, the right training. Maybe the money that is needed is to pay for what you call labor. Labor, yeah. And in some places, land clearing. Otherwise, all you need to do is to make sure that this farm input and empowerment is getting to the right hand, not to the so-called people or association leaders that will still now take it from the ministry and go and resell it to the farmers. This is the gospel truth. If I sit here and tell you any other thing, I'm just not being honest to myself. So it is because when government gives out this input and this support, it gets in the wrong hands. And because it gets in the wrong hands, we can't get the desired result. And another thing that the government really needs to look into is the Bank of Agriculture. That also I must touch here. Like they do in other countries, which I don't like to compare other countries to Nigeria. We are our own people, we're smart people. But what I would suggest to the government is this. There is nothing wrong with the Bank of Agriculture having such a structure whereby they have their procurement departments. Let me break it down for you, my darling. So when I come to you as the Bank of Agriculture that I need money to cultivate cassava, and per acre is going to cost me about 450. Figures I'm quoting is in the south. I'll clear my land and all of that. Right? Everything in my cost of economics production, I've listed everything out. Look at all the items that I've said. Maybe I said fertilizer 4 bags. 20,000. Don't give me the 20,000. Give me the fertilizer. Make the money available to the procurement department. So you approve my loan. I go to procurement department. I collect my inputs. From procurement department, I go and plant. But these things are not rocket science.
So with that now, those political farmers wouldn't have anything
And another issue we face whereby you give money to the farmers, and when they get to, especially the women, you know, we love our men. And daddy says, quickly borrow me 50,000 there, I'll give you tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, daddy is giving story. Then, of course, that project is dead on arrival. All this sort of incidents would not be happening. And another way, going a bit deeper, is when we approach the bank for loan, maybe we want to collectively, cluster family, we want to buy a tractor, and they give us money. Most of the time, these people don't even know the right kind of equipment that is suitable for their own land. But as a Bank of Agriculture, you see that I'm coming from Zamfara, for example, and I need a tractor. You already have this equipment in your procurement department. You know the sort of tractor,
the soil.
So, no, that works for that particular area, that zone. Then you give it to me. You know, I don't have to take money and then go and buy made in, we know what I mean. And at the end of the day, I'm not getting the result from the tractor, and I'm not able to pay back money to the Bank of Agriculture. So if the government can do these two major things, work hand in hand with us, and structure bank, look, the name, sometimes it really gets me emotional, because it is called Bank of Agriculture, meaning that everything finances should be able to solve it, at least to a large extent. You know, structure Bank of Agriculture in a way that if my problem is chemicals, and I apply for money to buy chemicals, what I get is chemicals.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your input. Omolara Stevenson, founder, national coordinator, Nigerian Women for Agricultural Progressive and Development, for joining us. And thank you so much for your input on all of this topic. So that's how much time will permit us to take today on today's edition of Midday Discourse. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a garden behind your house. Plant cucumbers, corn, groundnuts, so you and your families will start having healthy meals before, you know, the plan or the projected, you know, figure by UN comes to light. That's how much time will permit us to take on today's edition. I'll see you all tomorrow. You have a great day ahead. Good afternoon.